All right, Kenman here, and today we have a very interesting and fascinating knife here, brought to us from the collection of Fred the Lug. He sent me several of his knives to check out, share with all of you, have a little fun with, and then pass them along. Fred has some crazy taste. Here we are, the Spark Spin. What do we know about this? Spark. Carry the spark. This is a quite interesting box. I open it up on a live stream. I go lives Thursday from 6 to 9 Central Standard Time, and then some verticals here and there. Check them out. But I did not notice this when I initially opened the box. But if you look right there, see that wheel? That gear spins as you open it. I don't know how well that shows up on camera, but that boom, you've got a spinning gear as you open this up. The Spark, let's check it out. This is the Spark Spin. M390 blade, titanium handle. Your Spark Spin is passed final inspection. From our hands to yours. Once a wild idea, now made real. There it is. Check it out. Here we go. What did Fred send us this time? The Spark Spin. I'm going to just set this box over here, save it for later. Let's check this thing out. Wow, what a knife. It's got kind of a steampunk kind of a vibe to it, right? There we go. Spark Spin. Well, I mean, you know what's coming. You know it's there. This gear is a fidget spinner. It's got a nice clicky, clacky sound when the blades close there. Just sit there and spin it at your desk. Or you can flip this switch right here. And now it's a free spin. Zing. What do we think about this? Fidget spinner on the knife. What do you prefer, the clicky clicks or the free spin? Either way, you can open the blade with it in either position. It works open or close, although you want to be a little more careful when you got an open blade, just in case there. You don't want to cut yourself. Several different opening styles for this Spark Spin. We got the thumb studs on there, so you can, as a lefty, flick it out. You got to be a little careful on that lock bar pressure, but if I hold it the right way, I can flick it out as a lefty. Thumb stud for the left thumb works just fine as well. Then we do have this kind of front flipper, top flipper, so you shouldn't have any problems rolling that out with an index finger because it's so high up and there's just jimps all over it, that front flip. And then this one also can top flip. There are very few knives. I've broken my hands and my thumbs a few times, so they're not very strong. So I'm not really good at the top flip, but this one seems to be the easiest. So as far as a fidgety opening style, plus you have your gear on there, that might be exactly what you're looking for in a daily kind of a carry knife. It's a smaller knife, so locking it into that little finger groove, I still kind of, pinky almost starts falling off, but it still has a little bit on there. If you were to put a lanyard through there, you give it a little more space for your pinky to grab, but it also has this kind of flat for the choke up spot. I like that feel personally, where I put the middle finger in the finger groove and then the index finger sits on the choke up spot, and it's just a nice, that is great. That feels really good for getting in and doing some light kind of work. Put the middle finger in that groove, index finger on the top. Mine goes all the way to the end. Standard hands are a little bit shorter, might sit a little more comfortable, but feels good for me. I could easily use this as a daily carry for cutting boxes and doing some work. The fidget factor for the opening is fun. I do like that front flip, top flipper right there. A little harder to hold on to, but you can see those open pretty well. You can spin this in your left hand as well, so it's not limited to only having that fidget factor from the right. Really kind of a steampunky cool look. I like the silver and the blue and the gold as well. Kind of nice accents, the little lines, the grooves cut, the way that they've designed it. All right, it says Spark back there. A little bit wide for a smaller knife too. They're kind of putting a little more thickness on there. Almost looks like a clip on both sides with that gear. So yeah, obviously you can't swap the clip to the other side. Simple little clip. Not sure how comfortable that'll sit. A lot of it's going to be sticking out of your pocket, and it's pretty wide this way. So that's going to keep your pocket kind of pushed open maybe. I don't know. Anyone have one of these or carry it? It's probably pretty new. Coming from Fred, a lot of the stuff from this group that he just sent is pretty new stuff. So we kind of get these early looks. What's everyone think about this? So there are some jumps on there. They do feel good. They're all right. They could always, you know me, I like jumps all the way out, but ultimately they feel fine. They're okay. Send them out to here. Just a personal preference. But they're really nice all the way up on this top flip, front flip. So that makes that really easy. It's just grippy enough that it just works really well, and that rollover is quite satisfying. If you were looking for something that's going to be, if you have troubles with front flippers or top flippers and you're looking, this might be a really good option. Just the way that sits, it just works. And it's fun. This has definitely got some fidget factor to it. So how am I breaking this down? We got a bunch of titanium on here, milled to some extreme precision with all these little the gear and all the stuff on there. M390 on that shorter blade, little relief wedge on the top and the grind. Nice point in the middle. Easy for getting in and doing some work. This is definitely a daily carry, fidgety, kind of a fun, almost also talk piece. So it says Spark right there. I don't see any writing anywhere else. It doesn't say anything on the blade, like it doesn't say M390 anywhere that I'm noticing. I prefer a knife that doesn't have a ton of writing and branding on it. So when they just put that little bit back there, I kind of appreciate that, especially this. There's a lot of style and aesthetics kind of look going on with this one where writing, I think, would kind of deter from that. I notice every time you undo it, it spins a little that way. Maybe, of course, not that time. Just seems to have like a natural wanting to give it a little push. That's kind of cool. I wonder how that feels if you've got it and you're rolling around when you're trying to cut something, or you want it tighter when you're rolling around. Get that clicky. Interesting. So, blade is solid, no play, centered right in the middle. That detent is pretty strong, and it's pretty tight in there. I think once it gives free, that is going to open all the way. I don't think I've failed this yet, have I? Or if I did, it's probably because sometimes I will go like this to flick it out and be pushing on the lock bar, or sometimes I'll have something where my index finger, because it's longer, will be sitting here, and then when you flick it out, it'll get caught on there and kind of stop it. That's not really the knife failing. That's me kind of not holding it or positioning it well like that for flicking it out. Boom. Really fun. Okay, where are we going? Pay attention. We're doing a review here, Kenman. Definitely a smaller knife. 6 1/4 end to end, 2.5 on the blade, 2 3/4 at an angle, but really it's a 2.5 inch blade. You have a 2.5 inch cutting surface with a slight curve on the belly, and this cool steampunky handle is 3 3/4. Is this something that you would carry, or are you more of a traditionalist? Comment below. What's your favorite daily carry? 0.12. So that 1-2 goes out to there. You got the little decorative swedge on the top, and then the grind. I like the position of that tip. Just a simple, clean knife. 0.5. Sorry, angles are bad. 0.52. Pretty much flat. 5.2 all the way. It does get a little wider where that blue thing is to 5.7. Narrowest spot where the finger choil, or the, I guess that's the choil, but the finger groove, 0.77. Widest spot up here, 1.07. Widest on the blade, 1.01. Battery's not dying. Still flashing along, living and trucking. All right, 3.67. It's got a lot of stuff going on, the gear and all the stuff in there. It's thick, definitely thick. Look at how wide that is. 3.29 on the drop bear. 3.67. It's a little bit heavier, but with all those add-ons and stuff, that's definitely popping the weight up there a little bit. Kaiser drop bear is a great daily carry, bug out killer, same size as your Pyrite. Great user, not quite full size. Lots of jimps, like I was saying. Good stuff. So drop bear is a little bit bigger than the Spark Spin, maybe a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch or so on the front and on the back there. So the Spark Spin is definitely a smaller offering. Pretty cool. I like that too. When was the last time you had a box where it had a decoration that moved on the box? It's kind of a little extra step. What do we think about that? Okay. What's your favorite method of opening? A little thumb, the flick out that I missed, the thumb studs. You like that top flip? That's pretty fun stuff. Rare occasion to do that. Okay, little paper cut test. This is pretty much a new knife. Fred picked this up, kind of sent it into the pass around. Try not to do too much with them. Keep them pretty much fresh and new. M390. Oh, wow. That is a 9.5. I don't do 10s, but that first one, like you can just feel, the last one I did was really nice, but it just, you could feel just a little resistance and almost just that line, that cut is just not as smooth. This one just is like, just slips right through. That's a 9.5 out of 10. I don't give 10s, but that's about as sharp as that needs to be. That's fantastic. Feels great. Cuts right through. Nice curly cues in there. Solid stuff. Thanks again to Fred the Lug. He's got some really good taste in knives. Such a generous person to kind of pass them around, let other people kind of touch them up and check them out and mail them around the world. And then send them back to him, or we buy some here and there. I bought a couple off of Fred. Good stuff. The Spark Spin. This is a wild one. It was a Kickstarter. Not sure the availability now. If you do know, comment below. What's your favorite? The clicky spin or the free spin? I do like the colorway combo here with that silver, black, gold, and blue. Gets a little inspiring for maybe some anodizing in the future. I dig it. Stay sharp. We'll see you soon.